Hey guys, Don't Mess with Christine Sydelko is filmed in front of a live studio audience. Just kidding. Well, actually, technically it is, but it's just my friends and this podcast guru named Mark that sits in the corner and tells me when my time is up. Anyway, Don't Mess with Christine Sydelko is a CastBox original produced alongside Studio 71. And you can find it on CastBox. It's an app that's available in Android and iOS. It's one of the fastest growing apps for podcasts. You can find all your favorite podcasts on there, which I hope is mine and no one else's. My goal with this podcast is to become the only podcast in the world. And you can listen to Don't Mess on your other podcast platforms, but I hope that you give CastBox a try. I think it's a really great app. You can find all of your favorite podcasts on there, including, hopefully, mine. Don't mess. Don't mess. I am here with Grace Helbig, today's guest, and she is a YouTuber, podcaster, comedian, and what was that, Jordan?
She's a writer.
Go on, yeah.
And a writer.
Anything else?
Actress.
Wikipedia.com/actress.
Tell me more about your gifted classes, Christine.
Yes, so let me continue to tell you how smart I am. So yeah, if you are just joining us, which is you all are because this is the beginning of the episode.
Sure.
I was just talking to Grace before we started recording about me starring in the 5th grade play, which happened to be, for some reason, Antigone,
which I don't even know at all.
A story of incest, of fratricide, of in 5th grade.
Just all the lighthearted topics that 5th graders are equipped to handle.
Yes. So basically, there was a gifted class for reading and writing, which I was in. Not for math. Absolutely not.
So you were in the more artistic side of.
Yeah, whatever, left brain, right brain, whatever. And so they called it humanities. So we would, and it was honestly, amazing. We would study like Greek mythology.
That's cool.
And like just do word puzzles all day.
Yeah.
And every year we would do a big play. And
cool.
It was a big deal for me because 4th grade I tried out actually for Julius Caesar and didn't get it and ended up being a tree because
But that was very brave of you.
Yes. And actually, it's funny because in 6th grade I ended up playing a man anyway in the Odyssey. I played Odysseus.
Your school was very much into Greek mythology.
Yeah, it was just that one class. And you know what? I think it was not even supposed to be that.
Yeah.
Because my teacher's name was Miss Achilles.
So it was her
interest. She was just Greek. So it was literally just her. Now I'm just realizing that now. But I'm so glad she did because Greek mythology is one of my favorite.
I took Latin for 6 years.
Yeah.
In middle school and high school, and I went to Latin conventions like in the United States and that whole thing. So I don't remember much about it, but our Latin department in our tiny high school was like one of the strongest like departments. So it was like good on a resume to be part of it. But we had Reach in 5th, 6th, and 4th grade. Like that was our like gifted and talented program. It was called Reach.
Okay.
And at the end of every marking period or whatever, we did mock trials. So we supplanted the Greek mythology with mock trials for some reason. That must have been what our Reach director was super into.
What grade was that?
This is like 5th and 6th grade, and we'd have to come up with the scenarios of like and we'd have to make it as. I remember the one that was like the most intense was like in 6th grade. We came up with this scenario of like a girl got bit by a dog by like straying into someone's yard, but the yard was locked, but the girl like jumped the fence, and so like the parents are suing the people that own the dog, and we have to like go through this whole fake mock trial in front of all of our parents like it was a play.
Wow.
And like talk this through. In hindsight, it's the most insane thing to have participated in 6th grade as an extracurricular activity.
Yeah, because see, like we did mock trials in high school, like in law class. So, but wow.
Yeah, this was like our play was that we got to do this mock trial in front of all of our parents. So
interesting.
Yeah. Really fun to get stressed out at an early age about performing.
Yeah, and all those plays, I feel like are just rigged. Like the pageants.
But so I'm curious because you have a huge theater background, right? Like you love musical theater. You've been in theater, it sounds like, since you were in elementary school.
I wish I did theater in high school.
You didn't?
I did. I took acting classes as extracurriculars for credit.
Right.
But the musicals, I can't sing. I can't.
Me either.
Sing.
It's the one thing I wish I could do that feels like a superhuman like power that people have. And I'm like, I just wasn't born with it, and I can't teach myself to do it.
But apparently, they say everyone can. It just is a matter of where you start off. So some people start off naturally better, but they still have to hone it. But some people like us start off with like horribly.
And then your anxiety about not being able to sing inhibits you from even wanting to try to learn.
Yeah. So it's all a vicious cycle. But yeah, so I wanted to so bad.
Right.
But I just couldn't. And then the plays never had any good female parts. One year they literally did Of Mice and Men. There's one female character. She doesn't even have a name, and she dies.
I was going to say, who is
in the whole book, she's called Curly's wife. They don't ever give her a name. And it's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's so aspirational for women to look into.
And then I can't remember but there were other ones where it was just like, there's no good parts. I don't want to.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I never did. I wish the one thing I would change would be to just
go back and do
even
that.
Musicals. Just try out.
Would you
be in the chorus.
Let's say hypothetically, there is a world in which like Broadway, off Broadway, whatever, asks you to come do a play. Would you do it?
Oh, I mean, it'd probably be hard work. Wouldn't it? I would want to say yes, but I'd probably say yes and then end up, missing deadlines and getting fired. But I would say yes, yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's a starting point.
Wait, writing the play or starring in it?
Starring in a play.
Absolutely. That changes it. Yeah. I thought you were saying compose an entire. No. Yeah,
no,
I would absolutely.
That's down the line.
Yeah.
I always feel like you can come back to playwriting. That's the classic, right?
That's my fallback, is becoming the next Lin-Manuel
becoming
Miranda.
like the most struggling industry of all time.
Yeah, no one's like, we need more plays.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a thriving industry. God.
Yeah.
All of the seniors in high school, their number one career path is playwriter.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I do love like musical theater, like going to see.
Yeah. Do you go out and watch shows very often?
Not anymore, but one of my favorite things I did with my mom, and thank you so much for asking me, because I like talking about me more than I like talking about you.
I'm trying to get to your mom. This is just me getting into hearing more about your mom.
Yeah, no. But we would go every summer. We go to downtown Chicago, and we dress up and go see
nice.
A musical. Like we saw like Legally Blonde, the musical.
That's so fun. I haven't seen it. I also want to see Mean Girls that's now on Broadway.
Yes, that would be amazing.
It looks great. All that kind of like cheesy, like built for Broadway kind of humor I'm so into.
Yeah, I always say like, why say it when you can sing it?
Well, you can sing it.
Oh my gosh, my voice.
Your voice from singing all of these weeks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
How does Celine Dion do it?
Celine, did you hear her new song?
For the Deadpool soundtrack?
Yeah.
I saw people tweeting about it yesterday. I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard it
it's
either,
great.
But I like to think it's like the Bond theme.
Oh.
It's like the equivalent of that, and she's like, Deadpool. Yeah. Like, wouldn't that be funny?
I would love that.
I've never seen. Did you see the first Deadpool?
I did see the first one.
I never saw it. Was it funny?
It was really funny.
Because to me, it seemed like in the trailer that it was funny, but it was like just trying so hard to be funny.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I feel like they had to do that for trailers to get people that don't like work in comedy to think, like my parents, to think that this is really funny when it's like you could see that this is a little desperate.
Yeah.
But the movie itself I thought was really great. And I also liked it because I heard, and I don't know if this is true, that it was in production or in like it was being made, and then it got kind of kiboshed by the studio, and then Ryan Reynolds like put his own like personal backing behind it because he just wanted this funny action.
He just believed in it so much.
He just was like, I think this is great. I want to do this. I'm pretty sure something in that vague scenario happened. And I was like, I like that. Like this, A-list movie stars. Like, I want to do something really fucking funny that is kind of an offshoot of like all of these Avengers movies. And good for him.
Wouldn't it be great to just be like, fuck it, I'll do it myself?
I mean, that's YouTube, right?
Well, but like do it myself and have it be of high quality.
And do like a blockbuster movie. That grosses and like breaks
like
records. Yeah, that would
packed.
be. Yeah, and then your wife is Blake Lively at the end of the day.
Dude, she is amazing.
I think she's pretty great.
I can forgive her for talking out of the side of her mouth. Doesn't ever watch Gossip Girl and she's like, oh, I don't know, Blair. Like
she's got a little. It's like
her mouth moves around too much. Well, not too much.
I
can
moves,
handle it.
Like,
but...
do you remember those old things on Conan where they would have the photos of people and they would Photoshop the comedian's mouth on those? She kind of talks in that kind of.
They do that on RuPaul's Drag Race too.
Oh, just watched the episode from last night today.
Well, shut the hell up because I haven't.
How are you not a judge on that show? Jordan, get on this.
I would love that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He's emailing back and forth with Rue right now.
Actually, we got an email from Bed Bath & Beyond today.
Mr. Bed Bath & Beyond?
The very same.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did they say you can get 30% off your next order?
I was gonna say, it was like, can we ask them to get paid in coupons? Like,
that's my mom's
favorite.
Like,
do they know I don't shower every day? Like,
I'm all about that Beyond.
Well, Click. What a great movie.
I don't know it.
Adam Sandler.
The remote one?
He goes to get it in the Beyond section of Bed Bath & Beyond.
See, I didn't know that was the premise of that.
Yeah, he's a tricky one, Adam. He's a little... Anyway, let's talk about you because I did prepare.
Okay.
And I want you to be impressed that I prepared.
I'm already
impressed. Because I think of you as like maybe an older sister. I feel like kind of like I sort of look up to you.
Thank you.
And Mamrie too. I think you guys. It's like I want to be you when I grow up.
Thank you. That's very, very kind of you.
You're welcome.
God bless.
And it was very kind, and I'm impressed that I compliment someone.
I'm impressed about my own kindness.
And just my humbleness. Humility. Okay. Well, looks like I wrote here, I did write this last night.
Okay.
Under the influence.
Girl, I get it.
Of Vyvanse. The first note is, teach me how to be an adult.
God, I mean, I'm still... I don't have all of the tools to do this.
You don't? I feel like you give off that you do.
Oh, no. I've written 2 books about trying to do this without knowing how to. And I think the best thing about being an adult is being able to know that you don't know how to do it. Like being able to say, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be a good person. So that's as much. And pay your taxes.
Well, I say I don't know constantly.
Yeah.
And I, thanks to my dad, paid my taxes.
Well, then you're adulting really goddamn well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good to know. Let me check this off here.
Also, you're making lists, which is very adult.
Yes.
So good for you.
My dad is he's got a list to keep track of his lists.
What does your dad do?
He is a retired civil engineer and ex-Army Ranger.
So does he have that thing that my mom currently has because she's retired recently where I get texts way more than I used to because they're just trying to figure out what to do with their free time. Yep. Is your dad like that kind of personality?
Not really. He is very serious. He's but when we're alone, like in person,
yeah, like the guard's down a little bit.
He's one of the funniest, goofiest, weirdest motherfuckers I know.
Really?
Honestly.
But only then, behind closed doors.
Yeah, when he would drive me and my friends somewhere in high school, they would be like, "Hi, Mr. Sydelko," and I'd be like, "Hello." Like, we would play games. We would try to get him to, like, say a full sentence. Yeah. And he just wouldn't.
Really?
And he's not great on the phone either. It's kind of, you have to be in person. Yeah. But once you get him there, he is just so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really fun.
And now I've lost what we were talking about.
Making lists, being adults.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I am an adult, and then check mark. Okay. Great. Next, I have, the basic. Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey originally.
My condolences.
No, it's a weird state. It's very bizarre, and I love it. I've learned to love it as an adult. I watch Jersey Shore. I do all of that. It's like a state where a lot of really bizarre and weird and interesting people are from, even though it's like microscopic compared to every other state. It's a silly state.
Yeah, just like
It's so
You can't
stereotyped.
pump your own gas.
Right. I didn't know how to pump my own gas until a few years ago because I lived in New York after I graduated college for 5 years, so I didn't have a car. And then I remember coming out to Los Angeles on a work thing with a friend, and we had a rental car, and she was also from Jersey. And we shot a video. This was like 2009, 10 of us. It was like 20 minutes of us trying to figure out how to pump our own gas without like making it seem like we didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
And we had no goddamn clue. And it's still weird. It's weird now when I go back to Jersey at night, go and see all those like the gas attendants, and they were all like kids that I went to high school with that are all like that was everyone's like go-to job was like you worked at Wawa or the gas station.
Oh, I've heard good things about Wawa.
Oh, Wawa's
from BuzzFeed.
A treat. Wawa's a goddamn treat because you grew up in Illinois near Chicago.
Yeah, suburbs of Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, Wawa is. What's your equivalent there? Do you guys have Sheets? Is that a thing?
No Sheets.
Okay.
Like Circle K maybe, but that's more of just like a straight up gas station.
Yeah. These were like convenience stores, and then we call them super Wawas when they got the gas stations like attached to the convenience store.
It's similar like Quick Trip.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it has you can order food there too. It's like a little bit more of a.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but apparently they just do it better.
I guess. Yeah, their ordering system is great. Also, we're just like a land of hoagies, like subs, sandwiches, whatever, grinders. People call them all different things. Grinders, yeah. I never knew that they were called different things or that hoagies was a weird term until I was an adult. But they do them really, really well there.
I do. I love a good sandwich.
Who doesn't?
Sandwich
is the most purest form of food. It's like basically everything in your food pyramid covered in one handheld item.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. Because it truly is, and I feel like...
It's hard to mess up a sandwich.
It really is.
Yeah, and if you mess it up...
But it really is.
Yeah, you have to really work to mess it up. So congratulations.
And that could have a double meaning for life.
Yeah, true.
Although I feel like lives are really easy to mess up.
Yeah, they're way easier than sandwiches.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so you mentioned, when you were in New York, were you YouTubing then?
I went to college for 4 years, and
I went for 3, and that sounded like a personal dig.
No, I was supposed to graduate in 3 years because I didn't like my college experience, so I did as many internships and got as many college credits immediately as I could because I thought I wanted to get out of there because I got a full ride to this tiny liberal arts school, and so I was like, I'll go there without researching any other school. Then got there, and it kind of sucked, and I was really shy and introverted and scared about everything. And so I was like, this isn't what college is supposed to be like. So I got all of my college credits done in 3 years, but then I realized, I was taking improv classes in New York. I had just started. And so I was like, I'm not totally ready to move to New York. If I still have a free ride, I'll stay here for another year, take minimal classes, do comedy on campus, and see how that works out. But then I moved to Brooklyn with my college roommate after I graduated. And we started making YouTube videos because she wanted to be an editor, and we had both taken editing classes in college. And it was 2007, 8, the birth of YouTube. And our editing instructor made our whole class sign up for YouTube so that we could post our editing projects and watch them as a class and critique each other's projects. And so we all thought that it was kind of this editing website. We didn't know what it was at all, but we all had to create profiles for it. And so then I started to see on Funny or Die, I think, and YouTube were these 2 comedians named Beth and Val. And this is 2007, 2008. Were making vlogs. They were shooting out of the iSight camera on their laptops and answering just emailed questions and jump cutting. It was the first time I ever saw a jump cut happen ever.
Wow.
And I was like, they're so funny. They're so charismatic. We could do this. And so Michelle, my roommate, and I moved to Brooklyn, and we started making these videos and posting them on, we didn't even know what we were doing. We had separate YouTube channels, so we'd post, whoever would edit the video would post it on their YouTube channel. There was no cohesion at all. It took us 2 years to be maybe we need a channel just for this.
Yeah.
And so we created our own channel called Grace and Michelle, and then this website called My Damn Channel saw those videos and was like, hey, Grace, will you come in and talk to us about making a series for us? And so 2010, I made a series called Daily Grace with my damn channel, and then put it on YouTube in like 2012, but was still kind of like doing my own YouTube in the like behind the scenes of that. So yeah, that was a while ago.
Wow, that's a good first intro to YouTube. Mine was literally 5th grade watching the badger, mushroom. Yeah. So like you said, you didn't know that it was what it was.
I had no idea. And that's why like when I started working for my damn channel, they owned my content. I didn't know that you could be your own like content creator. Like Michelle and I had our own thing going on. And I remember we got an email one day saying we got accepted into like what was it called? The creators program where you started getting AdSense on your videos.
Oh, yeah.
And partner program, yeah, like 2000 whatever, and we like cheered because we're gonna be making 50 cents now a month off of our videos, and we were just like, oh my god, we're doing it. But so I made all of my videos on Daily Grace, and they were owned by this company for 4 years, and so until I got out.
Did that end well or
no?
not?
It did not end well.
Yeah, but it's over now, so who cares?
Over now, but it was like one of those things that I advocate to anyone that asks me any advice about YouTube. It's just like ask questions before you get in, because Hannah Hart I attribute to like the person that taught me how the YouTube space was working and like where my value was and how I should be approaching like deals and partnerships and things like that. And so, yeah, ask questions. Don't just say yes to the first thing necessarily.
Yeah.
So it was a great learning experience.
Well, I am still learning that, but more and more every day.
Yeah.
But so you talk about, so when I first met you, which I can't remember, and I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, I don't remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
I thought I hadn't seen your videos before. And then I think I just saw like a picture of you on Instagram or something, and I realized that there was a video in high school that my friend showed me, and it was you and I looked it up to make sure it was you. It was you in a kitchen, and you were like cooking.
Oh yeah.
But you were saying like weird things, and
fake facts.
Yes, and I distinctly remember it was lettuce was invented by Michelle Obama in 2008.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I saw that, and it was still in my head because I still remembered. Oh, that was
awesome.
Funny. But like, you know, I was just
and
like
was
a
there
sophomore
a window
in high school.
that had just a brick wall behind it? Probably.
I think so. Yeah, it was
that
like
was
a
my
galley
Brooklyn apartment.
kitchen.
Yeah.
That was, so I've seen that. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, those are when I was making 5 videos a week, and my brain felt fresh and everything felt fun.
Wow. I don't even have that as a starting point.
So yeah, what a fun time that was.
Yeah. Well, I felt good because I didn't know. Yeah,
because your intro into YouTube is very unique.
Because like you said, you thought it was an editing website. I thought it was just a clip website.
Right.
Where I would use it, but I would watch like a music video.
Right. You didn't realize that there's like people to follow.
Yeah.
And like you subscribe.
Panda sneezing.
Right.
Where there were people going like, this is my life every day. Like follow me all the time.
Yeah.
So
no, it was very bizarre. That's how I never did like. Now I find it difficult to kind of keep up with everything because everyone's very much like, here's my whole life online. Like I exist for all these other people. And I remember I never made thumbnails. I never did any promotion of my videos. In my mind, I was like, if they're funny, people will find them. I don't want to be like hawking all of this stuff. And it took me so long to realize like put some effort into the marketing side of this thing. But now I still fight with myself against that I'm like, I don't want to just do the thing that everyone else is doing. Yeah. But it does work when you do it.
I know. I feel that too. It's like you have to play the game to a certain extent.
Yeah. If you're going to be in the game, you have to play.
The one thing I can't do, and I no offense to people that do it,
right,
is the retweet to be the next shout out.
Retweet for DMs and stuff like that. I'm like, how many people do you follow? If you have to DM, do you just follow and then unfollow?
Or
how does that work?
Or what do you do?
I've talked to people about that before. I'm just like, I would be stressed out trying to do that. And I think it's just like, but it's, that's the authenticity side of things. Like it would be weird, I'm sure, for people that follow you if you started being like, retweet for a DM, and they'd be like, what's Christine doing? Why is she doing this?
Yeah, so it's to a certain extent you have to, say to yourself.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick break because I was told to.
Ads. Get those ads.
Ads.
My favorite song.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, taking a quick time out here just in case you forgot. You are listening to Don't Mess with Christine Sydelko, a Castbox original produced alongside Studio 71. right now I'm going to ask everyone listening to go rate and review this podcast on whatever platform you are listening to it on, hopefully CastBox. And of course, if you leave less than a 5-star review, I will come to your house and kill you. Just give me 5 stars anyway. It's not going to hurt you. I don't like criticism. Thank you. Okay, we are back on Don't Mess with Grace Helbig.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Do you get the play on
Nailed
words?
It. Uh-huh.
Yeah. We have fun here. We have fun. So I wanted to talk about, you mentioned earlier that in college you were very shy.
Yeah.
But you were still doing comedy. You were doing shows, but you were shy. But
yeah.
Still.
I grew up super shy. I like it, and I get the people ask this a lot. Like, how did you like? Performing seems like an extroverted activity. If you like claim that you're an introvert, how does that work? And I always say, like, I don't think anyone from my high school could even remember like who I was. I was very quiet, but very like observational, like kind of almost like creepy, maybe, that just like you watch how like people interact with each other. And then when I started doing improv, I knew when I was in college that I wanted to do something in comedy, but I didn't think I wanted to perform. I'd taken a couple like very basic acting classes, but I was really shy and scared about obvious like judgment. And so I was like, I want to do the Tina Fey route. I want to write. I want to be a sketch writer. And so I got an internship at the People's Improv Theater, which is an improv theater in New York City, and because I wanted to take a sketch writing class. And so I got into the sketch writing class, and then they were like, there's an improv class that's still not completely full. You can take it for next to nothing because you're, interning with the theater. And so I was totally terrified, and then just decided, like, I'm scared. That means I care. I should do it. And so I did it, and I really just started to love it so much, and then started to perform. And then obviously, like, the internet became this amazing, like, kind of combination of things I love, which was performing, minus the terror of seeing like actual faces in front of you. So that was like, this is perfect. But I still like, I love performing, but there's still like I think there's a difference, and I'm sure you feel the same way, in performing versus like socially hanging out, like in a different sense of like performance. Like you feel like if you're at a party or something, you have to like perform socially, versus performing for an audience feels a little bit easier in some ways, or like not as terrifying, more exciting. So I think my shyness came from realizing that the social anxiety of it all was a little bit more uncomfortable than performing. I think that's kind of like a different switch in your brain. But also I realized that I do like being social, but as an introvert, like I recharge my batteries by myself. So, like, I can hang out at a party to a point, and then I have to go, like, I got to go now because I'm not going to be fun because now I'm just, like, overwhelmed by the situation.
Yeah, and I think that just comes from knowing yourself. I very much am an extrovert, but I also really value alone time. I always say it's like a weekend where it doesn't have to be, because I don't have a real job, it doesn't have to be actually
it can be a
on
Tuesday,
the weekend, but I need 2 days where I just don't talk to anyone. Yeah. I'm alone. Mm-hmm. And then I can have 5 days of moderate to severe social interaction.
And it's just knowing those boundaries for yourself make it so much easier to like handle being creative. Yeah. Because you're like, cool, I know that on Monday I have a full day just by myself, that nothing is planned. Great, I can get through this weekend and do whatever I need to do. Yeah, it's really just understanding that for yourself.
Yeah, and that ties into being an adult.
And being an adult, yeah, exactly.
I'm slowly learning that, like, things happen that you don't want to happen.
That are out of your control.
You have to deal with them happening. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, complaining about it doesn't make it go away.
Doesn't fix it, doesn't change it, doesn't do anything other than add more tension to a problem. Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's a big lesson to learn as an adult, that just complaining about something doesn't change what's happening.
That's what I call my mom, and I'm like, well, and also living alone is like, if something spills, I have to clean it up.
Yeah, how long have you lived alone?
4.5 months.
4.5 months. Yeah. I remember, so I I lived with roommates in Brooklyn for a while, and then I was like, I really just want to live alone. And I remember I asked someone on my improv team at the time, like, who had been living alone for a while, like, I want to live alone. Like, what do you think? Like, what's your advice about that? And he was like, once you start living alone, you'll never go back to roommates. It's terrifying at first because, yeah, everything is on you, that you just are like, oh, you have a landlord or whatever, but still everything's on you, that you're like, I have to call him to fix this. Oh, there's now a hole in my ceiling in my bathroom. That I can't, if I just stare at it, it doesn't go away. I have to like do things to make it go away. If I come home, my apartment's a mess, it's my fault. If, X, Y, and Z happens, it's up to me.
Although I do like the mess being your fault.
Exactly. I can only be mad at myself rather than someone else.
Yeah, exactly. And, I do love it. I do love it. It's just I have to force myself to do things because sometimes I just want to. But it's nice I have my dog.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have to at least leave the house twice a day to walk her.
Oh, a dog changes your responsibility game.
Yeah.
I lived alone for years without a creature to take care of. And so it's like, you can make so many excuses not to do so many things. But now having a living thing is like, well, I have to. I have to.
Like, oh, I have to go home to let, like, I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. And I think it's
rewarding on some level. There's ghosts in the walls.
Is it that frat boy in there? I always forget his name, honestly. The one that's really handsome and acts like a frat boy.
Oh, the blonde one?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Carpenter. He works on our show. He's
yeah,
fantastic.
I know.
He's got golf clubs in his office, so I get the frat boy stereotype, yeah.
Speaking of frat boy, no, I don't have a second.
I was like, go on.
I was hoping it would maybe.
Go on.
So I think that this is going well.
Yeah.
Mainly because of you.
God bless.
Because you had a podcast.
Yeah.
And you still do.
Yeah, I have a podcast.
But it's different.
Well, it's gone through iterations. So I've had a podcast that you've been on called
I was on it, yeah.
Not Too Deep, and we want you to come back by yourself because you were on with Elijah in the past, and I'd love for you to...
Oh, that episode, yeah.
That episode was fun. He pulled out bubbles in the middle of it for fun.
It was a tense time.
I looking back, I fully understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, my friend Jack Ferry and I, we met in New York, working for the company My Damn Channel. We started this podcast like 4 years ago.
Can I just really quick say?
Yeah.
When I went on it, I had no idea who he was the entire time.
No, I know.
Because I thought it was just your podcast.
Which it
and
is.
This guy sat down, and I wasn't like, oh my God, who is this guy? But I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he didn't say anything.
I know.
So he was just sitting there, and I was like, well.
I know.
Okay.
And that was part of when we were working with Full Screen, which is when you came on. They had like talent managers that were booking everyone, and so we were assuming that they were giving everyone like, here's exactly what the scenario is that you're walking into, because prior to that, when it was just us doing it, I would do like full explanations, full like, hey, this is what we're doing, blah blah blah. But then we were under the idea that was already being told, so you guys would just come out and it'd be easy peasy, and then we quickly learned that
to be fair, it probably was, and I just wasn't listening.
But it was also we started doing this podcast, and then Full Screen started their SVOD, and they,
Wait, their what?
Their SVOD.
I don't know what that means.
It's like their VOD platform, their video on demand.
What's VOD? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
It's what that thing was that all of those podcasts like Shane's.
The thing that died. Yeah.
Which is par for the course of SVODs. Like, that was a trend that doesn't seem financially doesn't make sense to me, and I barely know anything about, how to manage a, digital company. But we were like, oh, cool. They're going to take care of our podcast and give us like a video component, which we were trying to do on our own before. And so it was great to have like a place take care of everything. But yeah, and then it quickly fell apart, as you know. It happened
so suddenly, and actually we filmed a pilot with them.
Right, you told me, you were like, we filmed a pilot, we were set to do a whole thing, and then all of a sudden found out.
And then literally the next week we get this call, and we're like, we didn't, we were in an Uber on our way back from something, and it was on like Tube Filter or something, and Elijah, we were like, wait. And my first thought literally was, wait, did we really do that bad on our pilot? They had to shut down the whole program.
I found out my boyfriend's roommate was a writer on Full Screen. And I get a call from my boyfriend in the middle of the day being like, Full Screen just fired everyone. And I was like, in my car being like, what? We're supposed to go there in 2 days and film 2 more episodes of the podcast that we have guests already booked for. And he's like, no, they had a meeting this afternoon that they're all fired. And next week is Thanksgiving, so they're going to like a 3-hour lunch getting shit-faced right now, and no one knows what's really going on. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wait till I hear from my manager about this. And then like an hour later, I got like the full call, and I was like, honestly, I wasn't surprised. I mean, all of the SVODs, like Netflix, are very close to the vest about like their data. So we didn't know who was watching, how many people were watching, who was the demo at all. So it was like, yeah, it was all very secretive.
Well,
here we are now.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're still going with it.
Same. I'm glad you didn't sell your podcast to them.
Yeah, well, I still got paid for filming the pilot, so that's all I care about. I do want to watch it though.
Yeah, you haven't seen it?
Haven't seen it, and I was very.
I mean, you should do an episode live where you react to your pilot.
That reminds me, I should post a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait, you mentioned your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Another case of I didn't know I knew him.
Oh, okay.
Until I realized later that I knew him from SNL.
Yeah, he was on SNL for a second.
I saw him backstage at the Streamies.
Really? Oh, yeah.
And I saw him and I was like, that guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the next day, wake up in a cold sweat. I'm
like,
that guy. Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, he's very, very funny. And we've known of each other for years and years, but hadn't ever like crossed paths, but have like a ton of mutual friends. So it's fun to date someone that's very funny.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. And it's also nice to have, like, a built-in gauge of, like, is this funny? Is this a funny idea? True. I trust your instincts on this.
Yeah, because he does have a good resume, I guess.
Yeah, but, it's his job to think things are funny or not funny.
Well, yeah, what does he do now? Does he
does stand up.
Yeah,
and he's a writer and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, one of my, I guess, we'll say friend, but more acquaintance in college was a really big fan of him and like
that's
bought
awesome.
his like albums and stuff. I was like,
oh, sweet.
But I feel like you guys like look like you should be a couple.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
No, and I don't think. Yeah, I think it's not really a compliment. It's not really an insult. It's just
it's fun.
Like, I guess I could have said the nicer version would be you look good together, but I said you guys.
But I'll take that. Yeah. It's one of those things where we just got along really well as if we had known each other for a while. So it was a very comfortable scenario.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like other relationships, can I just say, I became a fan of you guys like after meeting you, because I would watch your stuff, like I would be like, oh, because I remembered I had seen you before.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, you and Mamrie and Hannah, it's like magic.
Oh, thanks.
It's so good. It really, truly is so
thanks.
good.
I think
it just works so well.
Thank you. That's really sweet. It's one of those things. Like I didn't have a ton of friends growing up, but I had like really close relationships with the people that I was really close to. And Hannah and Mamrie are very extroverted, and so when we all became friends, it felt like this very immediate like closeness. I think it was also the same time that YouTube was becoming what it is today, like this giant thing, and we were all just kind of like stumbling, being like, what are we doing? I don't know, but it's working, so this is fun, and we're doing it together. This is great. And so there was a real friendship there. And I think that was always the weird thing to us, is that people would be like, are you guys like really friends though? We're like, yeah, we're really friends first, and then secondary is the fact that we like get to make stuff with each other. But I mean, you work with friends in all different capacities. So it's like when you're good friends and you work together, it's great.
Yeah.
And then other people, you find out like, hey, this might be not the best chemistry, but we tried.
But, you have to, that's the only way to know.
Yeah. And the good thing is we all genuinely think each other are talented and funny. And so that helps tremendously.
And you all have your own thing on your own. So
it's not we need to be a trio all the time. So there's that stress level gets kind of taken away because we're all still doing independent stuff and then getting to do stuff together.
Oh my God, I just remembered that photo recently of the three of you and Tyler Oakley.
Yeah.
Was literally, I love Tyler Oakley so much.
He's the best.
He will respond to me, and sometimes he'll like my tweets, but he won't follow me.
Tyler.
And I know but I know he knows who I am, but I just love him.
But also, Tyler's one of those enigmas that I'm like, how do you keep up? Like, I have his tweets on alert on my phone just to like inspire me to like get my ass on Twitter and like participate, because he's all day long, just across all social media platforms, creating content that's so unique. It's not just like, here's a blind promotion of one video.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you follow his Tumblr. His Tumblr is one of the funniest curated things I've ever seen. Anytime
you think he does it himself?
I don't know. And we've asked him multiple times, because also he schedules all the posts, because it'll go live in like at 3 a.m. or something. So I'm like, you're scheduling all your Tumblr posts, but where are you finding this shit? It literally is my go-to if I'm ever hungover. Like, I just want to laugh. Tyler will have something on his Tumblr, and he's had it for years. It's
I didn't even know Tumblr was still a thing.
He keeps it up still. It's fantastic. Highly, highly recommend.
He is a social media influencer.
He's really doing it, and he's very, very good at it. He's a constant inspiration about it.
I genuinely enjoyed his documentary.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he knows
Snervous?
how much I like him. Like I just like him a lot.
And he's very much exactly who he is in his videos in real life. Yeah. And I think that's like weird for people, because they think that he's created this like character that he is, and he's just exactly that. And I think that's what is keeping his career, like the longevity of his career, is just he cares about what he's doing, and he stays true to like his core values, and he's had such an interesting, trajectory of all of it. Yeah. And he's maintained it in these really fascinating ways. He's great. I can't say. He's also become so fucking buff. He literally came and did an episode.
So handsome. He is with the glasses.
Oh, he's
and
like
the
a
button
little,
up and like the muscles.
He came and did an episode of This Might Get before we went to New York and saw him. And it was the first time that Mamrie and I had seen him in like months, and we hugged him and we're just like, oh, we've seen it on Instagram, but
You're
my God.
Ouch.
This is insane. And it's really good. Like, he's just in a really good place, which is so nice to see.
Well, do you know Sam Stryker from...
No.
He writes a lot of BuzzFeed articles. Okay. He works for BuzzFeed. He literally looks like Tyler.
Yes,
ripped. He's a swimmer.
Yes, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, because people were like, I thought this was you, Tyler, in these like BuzzFeed thumbnails.
But now they're both buff, so now I can't tell them apart.
Twins.
Gosh.
Maybe it's a conspiracy theory. Maybe they are the same person.
Yeah. Well, life goes on, I guess.
Life goes on.
Well, and I know. Sorry to change directions.
Yeah, go for it.
But we mentioned living alone, but with an animal.
With an animal, yeah.
We share a dog trainer.
I know. And you texted me and you were like, something about like, David is training my dog, lol. And I was like, who is this text meant for? What does this mean? Because I forgot that my dog's trainers, because she hasn't been there for
a while, yeah.
She hasn't been there forever. And I was like, this is such a like knowing text. Like, I should know this immediately, or this was sent to the wrong person, and I don't know who. And I literally was in the process of writing you back and being like, did you send this to the wrong person? And then it like clicked that I was like, oh. And I think Hannah or Mamie or someone told me. No, Hannah told me. She was like, yeah, I recommended your trainer to her because she was saying her dog was aggressive. And I was like, oh. Because I was like, this text doesn't make any sense, guys. What's going on?
But now, and then all the pieces
all the pieces came together.
Well, sorry to confuse you, but yeah, he's interesting. He is great at his job.
Yeah, dog people in general, I've found, are people that make their living off of training animals have a very interesting persona.
Well, because they have to be on another level to connect so well with animals.
And to work constantly with animals that are problematic.
Yeah.
Because I can barely handle my own one singular dog. Right. If I had the responsibility and was getting paid to try and train other problematic dogs, I'd be like, I can't do this. This is too much.
Yeah, well, funny, so speaking of the oddity, really great guy, super, super nice.
Yeah.
Came over to do a home lesson.
Yeah.
Right before I got her back.
Yeah.
And saw my drug paraphernalia on my desk. And he goes, and I never told you this part. I know I told you that he reacted to it.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, you smoke? And I was like, yeah. And he started talking to me about it. And long story short, I gave him a joint in exchange for dog food.
I mean, hey, it's a
like,
bartering system.
He was like, he was like, how much can I have? I'll pay for this? And I was like, oh, you can just have it because I had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, let me, and I was like, okay, well, give me this bag of dog food for free. He was like, oh, okay. So
you're a businesswoman.
Yeah, I was just like, well,
that's pretty great.
I just gave my dog
it's legal,
trainer drugs.
technically.
Yeah, you're right.
in California. He's a very, very sweet guy. And it's funny because my ex-boyfriend and we got our dog, or I got the dog that I have now with him, and then he found this training company. He found David and put Goose in that training program for like 3 months, and we just like happened to break up in the middle of that like 3-month period. Man. Yeah. And so David has seen me through many stages of my life.
Oh man.
But it was funny too because he brought Goose back to my house like after her training program, and like then the second time he came, he was like, "Have you written a book? I saw it in the bookstore." Like it was so sweet about it, and was just like asking it, and it was really, really nice, and not in like a weird kind of like Hollywood shitty way, like in just a very genuine like, whoa, like because he lives in the world of the dog training industry in Los Angeles, which I can't imagine what other kind of clients he deals with.
Yeah,
but.
he was very interested in the fact like that I was a YouTuber. How that worked. How he was like, how do you even make money from that?
Yeah. Like, because I forget that Hannah used him for a second. She had a dog for a little bit. Yeah. And she was using him. Yeah.
Oh man, now she has those cats.
Now she's got those crazy cats. You met the cats?
They're cute. Well, the one has like a really weird ball sack.
Charles.
Yeah, he's got like a pouch, so I can really only like pet his back or his head. But
Charles is a sweet thing that like when you see Charles by himself, you're like, that cat is like a very weird hairless cat, and then you see Lady, which looks like a Disney villain, and then you're like, Charles is a cartoon character. Like Charles looks ridiculous.
Oh man,
they're sweethearts though.
Pets are the best.
They are the best. How's your dog doing?
Oh, she's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she young?
4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
That's about Goose's age. She's like between 4 and 5 somewhere.
She's definitely more manageable. So
that's good.
Yeah. And now I know what to do. So
it's also just great to have a place to take your animal to if you have to leave town.
I called this morning because for tour I booked the weekends that I would be gone. Yeah.
The most amazing because like hardly anyone can watch my dog, and I can't take her to just like a general boarding place, and so they're like well equipped to. I know she's gonna be fine there, which is so wonderful.
Yeah. No, they're great. Well, I mean, what better way to end than talking about dogs?
Talking about the things that we love.
Yeah.
Our doges.
I think this went well.
I think so too. I would say you're doing a great job, Christine.
Thank you very much.
I'm proud of you. And I cannot wait to see how this podcast evolves. To hear. I mean, you got a camera in here. What's this for?
This is for my personal archives. Thank you so much for coming. I think it was
Thanks
a
for
fun time,
me.
and I feel like I know you better now.
Well, that's all I can hope.
Thanks for listening, guys. This has been Don't Mess. Bye, bitch.
Don't mess. Don't mess.
Hey guys, I am really excited to tell you about a cool new show called This Sounds Serious, a new Castbox creation. It tells a fictional murder story that involves twins, cults, and a Florida weatherman. If you're a fan of true crime and comedy, then you will love this show. This show pokes fun at the mystery and crime categories in a unique way, delivering big on both laughs and narrative. This will become your new go-to podcast with wild twists and turns that will leave you dying for more. Each episode is about 25 minutes long, perfect for a commute or a road trip. You can check out the website. It's www.thissoundsserious.com. This Sounds Serious is a Castbox original.
This season on This Sounds Serious.
911, what's your emergency?
It's my brother. I think he's dead.
You are going to meet face-to-face with a murderer.
Plus, it's Florida. Everyone's a criminal there. It's like America's Australia.
It looked like he was French kissing the waterbed.
There was a guy in my cult. He was like, hey, everybody, I think we should kill ourselves. And we were all like, yeah, okay, Todd, you go first.
This Sounds Serious is out now. Download it wherever you get your podcasts.